Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, so I decided to buy another project or project bike, something that I want to work on and start a new build series, if you can call it that, on the channel. So obviously you can see by the box, or you got a hint by the box, but let me pull the cover and show you what it is. As you can see, it's a Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RR. That's the one with the half fairing, or the Cafe Racer the Speed Triple. It has been in a light front smash. The story behind it, I kind of know the story behind it. The Oak was driving like 40 k's an hour down the road, and there was a taxi that crossed or jumped a robot. So the car in front of him slammed on brakes and he went into the back of the car. So very light damage to the front end. The entire front end is missing, as you can see. We'll go through that in more detail now to see what repairs we have. Let's have a look. The bike came with a box of stuff. So we've got the pillion seat, the original pillion seat. We've got the cluster, which was part of the front subframe, but that's snapped off. So that's completely separate now. We got the single headlight and its mounting bracket, well, what's left of it, also broken and stuffed. And then we've got the owner's handbook and the service book and the little tool bag. So let's go through and have a look at the bike. When the guy went into the back of the car, I think he put it down on the right side. So there's a little bit of damages on the right side. You can see the Zard titanium pipe is scratched at the top here and the carbon tip is damaged. So I need to see what I'm going to do about that. The brake lever has deformed and bent back a little bit, so I'm going to see what I'm going to do about that. On the side of the engine here, we've got a hole in the crankcase cover. So that is damaged. I need to get a new crankcase cover. Engine slider is slightly damaged. I'm not too worried about that. The radiator cowl has pulled it off the side of the radiator. So I need to see if the threads are stripped or if I can re-tap them and just put that back on. On the clip-on here, we've got damage to the lever protector and ever so slight damage to the lever itself. Front end, you can obviously see mudguard, the front mudguard or front fender is absolutely munted, broken, and I'm gonna have to get a new one of those. Front subframe is broken. The headlights, I showed you all those bits already. That's all damaged. Out of the connectors or the electrical on the front end, the only bit of damage is the headlight connector. So I'm gonna have to get a new headlight connector and see if that headlight is working. And then the front antenna just sheared off, but that I can unplug and just plug a new one in. Front subframe, I said I need to replace. Okay, and then something else that I've noticed while the bike has been sitting in the garage is the left fork is leaking quite a lot. All the way down the caliper here, or down the stanchion onto the front axle mount. I can't remember what that part's called, but I've got fork oil. So front left fork is leaking. I'm going to have to pull these forks and take them across to my mate to try and see, or we're going to put them in the lathe to see if the forks are bent. I really, really, really hope the forks aren't bent, because these are the electronic Öhlins. So hold thumbs, they're not bent. To the left side of the bike, there appears to be no damage at all. This little mount here is for the front cowl that comes across. So we've still got these two little brackets on either side that holds the rear parts of the cowl. Some of the parts I'm going to have to order from Triumph, so we'll put a list together, start ordering some bits. Some of the parts I have already ordered, like front subframe, a couple other bits and bobs, the crankcase cover, the gasket. I've ordered all those bits, so that should be arriving today or tomorrow, and then we can start working on the bike. Let's get into the garage and get working. Now we've got the bike in the garage. I'm going to put it on my front stand so that I can start stripping the front end, take off the front subframe, take off the mudguard, take the wheel off, so that I can get these forks out and start working on the forks. My first time ever doing this, so let's have a look and let's see how it goes. Wow, that was as awkward as it looked. To strip the front mudguard off, it's just 5mm Allen keys both sides, so I need to strip those off and I can take mudguard off. And because this thing is so broken, it comes apart like that. You can see what's left of it. Next step, I'm going to take the brake caliper off because I won't be able to remove the wheel with the brake caliper still on. So that is a 8mm hex. I'm just going to let it hang like that for now while I remove the other side. There you can see the 6mm pinch bolts. And then luckily from doing my gearbox service on my Polo, I've got the 17mm hex that comes in that set I bought, which will let me take the axle out. Brake calipers out of the way, I can now loosen these pinch bolts. Those are a 6mm hex. Perfect. And then it's a 17mm hex to get the axle out. I don't know if this is a bit excessive, but I got a power bar for this. There we go. Let me swap out for a ratchet. There we go. I just need to grab the two spaces. It's this one this side, and the other space of that side. And I can move this out of the way and put it aside. Now that the axle's off, I can loosen this wheel speed sensor, which is a T30 over there, and two 4mm Allen keys inside there. And then I can take that off, and we're ready to pull the forks. None of my Allen keys want to go in here, so I got to use this style Allen key, but these are actually quite tight. So I have to use a plier to loosen it. Next bit I need to do, I need to just take this cover off quickly to reveal the connections for the electronic Öhlins forks. So it looks like that one there, and then I can loosen the pinch bolts on the upper triple tree, the bar ends, on the upper triple tree, the clip-on, and then the lower triple tree, can loosen those, and then hopefully slide the fork out. It's also a 6mm hex, so I'm going to start at the bottom here. No, I'm actually going to start at the top here. I've just put some masking tape on the end of a big flat screwdriver so that I can slip in ever so slightly and open the pinch of the upper and lower triple tree. So let's see if I can get this out. Oh. There's the one fork out. Let me put that aside. I've just got a dish soap solution on a rag. I'm gonna soap it up. And then hopefully just give these a quick wipe and quick clean. Hopefully they're not too scratched. There is a little bit of scratches from the accident. Hopefully it's not too bad. I'm also pulling these reflectors off, they look ugly. Continuing with dismantling, let's take this front subframe off. which has got two T30 this side and two T30s this side, and then we can get this front subframe off, being careful with these cables when pulling it. Looks like yeah, and at the bottom there is the clutch cable. At the bottom there is the clutch cable mount onto the bottom of the subframe, so I need to loosen that as well. Out of the box that came with the bike, there was the cluster. It's got a slight a scratch across the front of the screen. I'm not sure if you guys can see the scratch. It's quite a nasty one, but nothing I can do about that. It's luckily not broken or damaged. And the connector on the back is perfect. Same thing there. So I think just the frame broke. And then the headlight assembly, this is munted, like absolutely shattered. All the plastics are broken. The headlight connector broke right off. It's crushed, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to swap it out for like a Dacia plug, a 6-pin Dacia plug, and hopefully polish these marks out of the headlight. But let's work out what parts we need to order. I think for now, what I can see, I need pretty much the entire front end. It's the headlight surround, the intake ducts, all the screws, brackets, everything that I need for the front end, the two cowls, the left and the right cowl, the windscreen, pretty much everything for the front end. I need front subframe, which is pretty much this piece over here that the clock sits against, something like that. We need that. I need a crank cover, seal and gasket, which is a crank cover and the seal around it, or the gasket, because there's a hole in this one, so I need that. I'm going to need oil filter, oil itself so I can service the bike. I need fork seals because I'm going to service these. So we're going to have to strip these forks down and put them, the stanchions on the lathe to see if they run true, and the tubes on the lathe again to see if they run true. My mate's going to help me with that. So I need fork seals and fork oil for when we do that. And then I also need a rear brake lever. You can see this one has bent in. I might try straighten it, but I don't know how well that will work. And then we still need to decide what I'm going to do on this exhaust pipe, because that's also damaged. I think I'm going to call it there for today's video. I've got a list of parts that I need, so I'll place the order with Triumph, and let's see how this goes. Thank you very much for watching the video all the way to the end and supporting my channel. Like I said, I'm almost at 1,000 subs, so I'm over the moon. Yeah, let's build this project. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing, and as always, leave me your thoughts in the comments below. I've done this as my 1,000 subscriber goal, so I'm very, very excited. Let's see where this baby goes. Until the next video. I just got here to Triumph Sandton. I got a phone call yesterday that some of my parts had arrived. So let's go in and have a look. Got all my parts, 2 boxes of parts. Let's go get started.